Hey everyone, welcome back. It is time for another wrestling review. With me once again, we have Campo.Reviews, the man who reviews TVs, wrestling shows, everything else in between. I messed that up, but it's movies, TV shows, and wrestling and everything else in between. But who
And
cares?
poop.
And poo, Dr. Pooh.
Whoa, did that just make a new character?
Yes, because I just watched the finale and that was trash.
He travels through time and space and
In a toilet.
toilets. In a toilet. It's a porta john, not a
It's a porta
freaking.
john, it's not a TARDIS.
Oh my God, we did it.
But no, we are not talking about the Doctor Who finale. We are talking about TNA Under Siege, a pay-per-view that happened a week ago, but we're reviewing it today. I literally less than an hour ago just got back from the Niagara Comic Con and I've been doing laundry and eating lunch. So
Show them one thing you bought, and then in the next video, maybe we'll show them one more thing you bought.
I bought Daredevil 300.
It's very cute.
Very cute. So with that, we are talking about TNA Under Siege. We'll start with the pre-show match, Rosemary versus Zaya Brookside.
I didn't watch the pre-show. I actually forgot that there was a pre-show, and
It's not like AEW. They give you half an hour pre-show with a match.
yeah, I watched the main event and then like the next day realized there was a pre-show and then always I kept meaning to go watch it, but I got spoiled to me during the show.
Yeah,
Listen,
it's Rosemary Zaya Brookside. Rosemary wins by a
oh I
disqualification because
yeah,
Brookside turns heel,
they
I
basically
guess.
show you the whole match in a
Yeah.
clip. And like I don't want to knock her because we're fans, but like the
Uh,
promo that Zaya Brookside cuts is so bad that like
yeah, this one was not the
I was like,
greatest.
thank God I have no fast forward button or I'd be off this in like 2 seconds.
Yeah. So with that, main show proper, Mike Santana versus Casey Navarro.
AC Navarro surprised me big time. He
Yeah,
was
he wasn't
very
bad at
good in
this
this
match.
match. I like we're used to like being like like hey, I think Top Dollar what's his name now?
AJ Francis,
AJ Francis is a really good heel. Him
he's a
and
great
Casey
talker.
Navarro, they work really good
Yeah,
together.
he's a great talker. His in-ring skills aren't, there.
They don't need to tease a breakup between them, which we can see is starting to happen because it doesn't
Yeah,
make sense. But I think what they want is to send Casey Navarro to Mike Santana and have them be like a little group.
a little group
Maybe
on
they'll be called
NXT.
LAX2 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's pretty
Standard opener.
it's a pretty good match. Like
Yeah.
we're not big Santana fans, and I
No.
thought this was like a pretty solid match. I was surprised because when
Yeah.
I saw what
It
was going to
was
happen, when I saw AJ Francis, number one, I was already upset, and then when I saw him get replaced by Casey Navarro, I was like, oh no, this is great.
Yeah,
What a
but
pay per
no,
view
Casey
match.
Navarro and Mike Santana actually had a decent match
It was a
together.
pretty decent match.
Then it was a decent opener. So with that, it's Eddie Edwards against Cody Deaner. If Deaner lost, he wouldn't receive a new TNA contract. We knew that was going to happen anyway. Usually when they do matches like this,
So I don't know what I think. There's obviously going to be. I think it's storyline based. I don't think it's factual what this is happening.
do you think
Um,
Cody Deaner's already been re-signed
yeah.
a long time
So
ago?
the I mean, we were never big Diener fans.
No.
The design had like a good concept, and then just kind of didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And but I've been following it actually for the last couple of weeks. I'm pretty sure you don't even know that because we haven't talked about it. But I really like his little storyline of like his family needs the
Yeah.
money, and he's like, and it's actually working. Like it plays off
It's
really
building
well.
empathy for him. Yeah.
The
No, I
problem
see
is
that.
the way this match plays out is so silly. It's not even that bad of a it's not a bad match. It's fine.
Yeah, but
It's
they want to build a series. That's why.
but the way that it plays out is like Eddie Edwards it has a pretty good match. You're like, okay, I'm surprised that Eddie Edwards
Hmm.
and Diener are having a good match because we don't want to watch either of them wrestle.
Yeah.
Um, and then Eddie Edwards wins,
By a
and then
shenanigan.
by shenanigan, but he wins, and then the way the match ends is the next match just starts. So it
Yes.
you
So, okay, explain to me. Northern Armory come out and help Cody Deaner. Are they faces again?
and that okay, that no number one, that's part of what doesn't make sense, and number two, they tried to make it seem like Eric Young is defending
Diener.
Diener, but the way it came off was like we're stealing the spotlight of your guys' match by coming in here and just cutting a
Yeah.
promo over top of the storyline that you're trying to tell. That's like how it felt because they didn't even really
Yeah.
help him. They just walked
No.
in the ring and everybody walked out of the ring, and then
After,
the
yeah,
next match
because
started.
so Eddie Edwards does win this match, right? There was a post-match beatdown by the rest of the system, and the system are supposed to be heels, and now the Northern Armory are faces again. This is like what the 17th time Eric Young has turned in
I
the
don't
last
think
six
they're
months.
faces. I think it's just because they're in Canada. Do you know, like when
Okay.
they used to do the thing with Bret Hart, where it's like, okay, well, we're in Canada, he's not a heel now,
Yeah, that's true.
type of
Bizarro
thing.
world.
Like we don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Be more like Japan. Heel teams, like remember when they had GBH and it became Chaos, and they were beefing with Bullet Club
Hmm.
and with
House
what
of
the hell?
Treasure.
No, Suzuki Gun.
Oh, Suzuki-gun. Yeah, yeah.
You had three heel factions all beefing with each other. Like you
Yeah.
could do that. It doesn't. You don't need to change them. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Thought it
Yeah.
was just a weird way to undercut a match of a pretty good storyline that
Yeah.
you just don't
You
seem to
kind of
care
take
about.
away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that goes, like you said, it blends right into the next match, which is Northern Armory against the system.
Where I thought the two guys that are in Northern Armory with Eric Young
Hmm.
really did a good job selling in this match and
Yeah,
like
they
doing
did.
what they could, but the rest of the match was really bad. Like
Which, I mean,
everyone
in a
else in the
way,
match
this is
was.
this is storytelling back, taking it back, because those two guys, the Great Hands, were with Brian Myers at one time. They were their own faction before Brian Myers joined the system.
Aren't the Great Hands with Ali?
No, these are the Great Hands.
So who the hell's with Ali?
I don't know.
No, these are not the Great Hands.
Oh, the Great Hands. These are no, these were the other guys. Icarus and Travis William. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
getting confused. Yeah,
everyone blends in TNA. That's the
yeah. Yeah.
problem with TNA.
There's no distinct characters. Yeah.
Like if you can put Brian Myers in a room with the Good Hands and like expect me to tell the difference between them, I can't.
No.
So I mean that's a joke. But
Long hair? I don't know.
you got a
Multiverse.
beard? The white guys with a beard? But the rest of the match was just like I
Who?
don't care about the
Yeah.
storyline at all. It doesn't.
No.
It's irrelevant. It wasn't a very good match except for those two guys just doing whatever they could to make their spots look really
Yeah.
nice.
And the Northern Armory do go over, like you said, because it was in Canada, it was in Brampton, right? So it's like, yeah. Uh, okay. We get Ash and Heather by Elegance against Spitfire. If Spitfire lost, they would have to disband. So you already don't have any female tag teams in your company, and you're disbanding one of the better ones.
Yeah, but I feel like it's because number one, Danny Luna needs a push,
Yeah, a solo push.
and number two, I think Jody Threat is contract is expiring and they're not going to resign her.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Because I like I said, remember all those women that went up for free agency? I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure Gigi Dolan's coming to TNA because Zachary Wentz is there,
Yeah.
and they're probably going to take a shot at one of the other releases.
Contrary to what Russell Talk says, everybody's going to AEW apparently.
I hope not, because Decla was enough. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. Tekla's a big name for AEW.
Well, they're losing Mariah May. She's going to WWE.
WWE,
So
yeah.
WWE is too bloated with women. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
sidetracked right now, but
I think this is more to replace Stephanie Vaquera now in NXT because Stephanie Vaquera is
so
moved to Raw.
this is what I've seen like the progression happening. Super sidetrack guys, but you'll like it because we're talking about wrestling. Um, NXT right now is trying to dump all of the large names on their roster because
Hmm.
they want to go back to not the style of NXT 2.0, but the idea of NXT 2.0, where it's going to be all minimum contract college students that they're going to have homegrown.
Hmm.
Because they made all their big signings in WWE now. They made all their superstar signings, and
Yeah.
now they need to start getting homegrown people to save them money to
Since
fill out your
December,
roster,
yeah,
right?
since December, you moved Roxanne Perez to Raw. You moved Stephanie Vaquera to Raw. Jordan Grace and Julia are now both on SmackDown.
They moved so many more people now. There's not even a like Braun Breaker moved up,
Yeah.
Dragunov moved up, hasn't been used. Mello moved up. This is all in the
Well,
last year.
Dragunov is hurt still.
Yeah, but I'm just saying you've moved
Yeah.
up all of your main talent, and I don't think they want to do that thing anymore because they're spending so much money signing these huge names that they're trying to push on you, they don't want them to go through developmental because realistically, like it's not even a knock to NXT, but nobody watches NXT.
No.
Like all the people I know that are huge WWE fans don't have never watched NXT ever.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't even dare turn it on.
Tune in
And
tomorrow for our NXT review.
but I'm just saying, right?
Yeah.
It's just it's a thing where like I know people at my work that have been WWE fans since your time of
Yeah.
starting to watch it, and they only watch Raw or SmackDown. Like they don't even watch the other brand. They only watch where their wrestler that they like is, and then don't even
Yeah.
pay attention to what's happening on the other brand. So I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is. But I think that's what's happening. I think we're going to see NXT become a developmental again, and not a place where they're going to stop trying to train star wrestlers and just put the
Yeah.
star wrestlers right onto the main roster.
Yeah. But I mean, I think though, you need some sort of name value. And I think that's where Mariah May and Zaria come in.
Yeah, but Zarya's not even used anymore. We'll talk about that when we get there. Like
Yeah.
she's become irrelevant in that thing. They've defaced what she was.
Yeah.
Like they brought her in like she was Kane,
Yeah.
and now she's just like some girl that hangs out with a surfer girl.
Yeah. Who they pushed even more. But yeah. But in the end,
Oh yeah,
though,
hold on. We
yeah,
want
we're
to talk
talking
about this
about the
tag match.
elegance match. Yeah.
I actually really like this match. I'm
This
not
was
gonna
an
lie to you.
excellent match.
This is
This was
probably
like
my favorite match on the card.
this is more like a not a hardcore match, but like a
No, it was pretty plundery. Like there was a lot
it
going
was
on.
yeah, it was a plunder match.
Um, Danny Luna was great in this match.
Hmm.
Jody Threat surprised me. You know, I'm not a very big Jody Threat fan.
Yeah.
I thought she was very good. Dana Brooke surprised me. Heather by Elegance is literally like a revelation. Like if she's not a superstar soon, like she's barely been
Yeah.
wrestling and she's already has so much like base level talent. She sells so well for the other
Yeah.
people, and her ability to like get in the right place and stuff is really good. All of the strikes in this match were ferocious. Every
Yeah.
single punch
She
looked like
hit
it was a real
hard.
punch. Everybody. Dana Brooke was literally like whapping people in the face. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah.
At one point I thought Danny Luna was getting mad at her because she looked like she was really punching her in the
Yeah, it
face.
looked like it was, yeah.
But all of them were doing that. The elbow strikes, the kicks. There was none of that stupid slow motion. I'm gonna miss you. I'm
No,
punching at the air.
even from Ash. Ash, like, because she not grew up, but she came up through the WWE system. So she's very much a WWE style of wrestler. And even her, she looked pretty good in this
But
match.
all through her WWE
Career.
tenure, she
Hmm.
came off more like one of the MMA fighters that they've trained. She always had that like look and a fighting style of like
The
someone who
Lola
used to
Vice.
be a fighter, not
Yeah.
like someone who's just a wrestler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was, I guess, always being in the 24/7 title picture makes her used to these kind of weird plundery style matches.
Yeah. And that's
And
why it worked out so well.
it was really good. There's like that gnarly spot where Danny Luna misses the table.
Oh, yeah.
And but if you watch it back a bunch of times, I'm not sure. Obviously she got hurt, but I don't think she hits her head. Like I
No, she
watched it
doesn't.
back
They
like
played
seven
it.
times,
Yeah.
and she like her arm like lands on the
She kind of
table.
does one of these. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
But then they try to Dana Brooke's trying to put her on the table after,
mhm.
and she's like refusing to go up on the table. And then
Yeah.
Dana Brooke jumps on her, and it was like one of the weirdest table spots I've ever
Yeah.
seen. And it looked like
It
it
was a
hurt
weird looking table
so
spot.
bad.
Yeah. It was
She landed like right on her through the table.
yeah, kind of like a crossbody, kind of weird crossbody that was,
Yeah,
yeah.
and she didn't because she wasn't fully on the table either. So the way she went through
Yeah.
it was face first into like where it broke.
Yeah. Which was,
Well, like
but
then
this
there
is
was that
still,
wicked spot. Jody Threat comes in the ring, does a
mhm.
bunch of stuff, then goes to dive out and gets the hit by the trash can, and you don't even see
Yeah,
it.
but you hear it.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
loud. I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, this is my favorite match of the card.
Yeah, this was probably the best match of the card. And in the end, we get a new member joining the
Can we
Elegance.
get this on women's multi match?
Yeah, absolutely we can. I'll let it, get Timmy on it right now. But
Yeah, then
yeah,
some lady comes out. I have no idea who it was.
that's Maggie Lee.
I don't know what that means.
Well, she is an indie wrestler, and she joins the Elegance. So now she's Maggie by Elegance or something like that.
So now TNA is really trying to rebuild their women's division, which that good
Hmm.
for them.
And Timmy just added it to the list.
By the way, I have a theory. This is just actually, we'll talk about it when we get to
Okay.
the
But
NXT.
we'll talk about okay. So with that, we have a brand new name, the Order 4. Now they're called Mustafa Ali, Tasha Steeles, and the Great Hands against Indy Hartwell and the Rascals. And it was supposed to be Ace Austin, but they said Ace Austin is hurt, which is not the case. Ace Austin's contract is done. He's no longer in TNA. So because it's
Which
Brampton,
makes me think that he got signed to a company that's not TNA or WWE, or else he would have showed up. Or he's planning on leaving to go somewhere not that doesn't work with them. You know what I mean?
I just hope it's Japan and not AEW because if he
Yeah,
goes to
I agree.
AEW, he's lost in the shuffle.
AEW made too many signings lately, and you don't need it. Their
Yeah.
women's division actually looks surprisingly good, and I think Thekla is the last piece that you need. You don't need anything else.
Yeah. But yeah, so who comes out? His former campaign manager, Champagne Singh.
Campaign thing.
Even though he's local, the crowd was dead for this.
Okay, so
They're
this
like,
is
who the
what's
hell
weird.
is
The
this
crowd
guy?
was dead for it when he first came out, and then when they realized who he got booed like crazy
Yeah,
because they thought of him as being
the heel.
Mustafa Ali's
Yeah,
partner, not the guy coming in to help, which was really weird. It was like the crowd wasn't sure what
of
they were
how to
supposed to
react
do
to him.
here.
Yeah,
But yeah, he's a hometown guy, and they booed him the
he's
whole. They didn't
from
even
Brampton.
react. I swear, when he first came out, nobody really knew who it was right away.
Mm,
It took a second for it to click in,
yeah,
which
but
was fine. He took a lot of really big spots in this, which
yeah,
I guess that's why he was there. This
yeah,
match was okay. I didn't
yeah,
hate it. It was Indy
fine.
Hartwell's was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see her back. We haven't seen much of her. Like, she's a really good wrestler.
yeah, she is. But I mean, Order 4 does end up winning this again because what happens is he kind of hits Tasha Steeles, or he's doing a post-match beatdown on Ali, and she tries to stop him, and he kind of elbows her out of the way, and it's like, are they teasing a breakup again?
So I
Another
wasn't
one?
super paying attention at that moment because the match was like basically over. So I was like, oh, let me get through all my stuff I can get through now before the next
Hmm.
match starts. And when I noticed that they were all like helping her up, I'm like, what the hell happened? I didn't see
Yeah.
him hit her. Well, because I heard them say it, right? I don't
Yeah.
know. Whatever.
Hmm. But yeah, so they're teasing another group breakup. So with that, on to our next match. Tessa
Stop
Blanchard,
teasing group breakups.
yeah, Tessa Blanchard facing Ariana Grace.
Okay, I'll give Ariana Grace credit for holding it, sticking in there because
Hmm.
I never thought she was very good. She actually has a match, um, with her dad on
Yeah,
NX
on the next,
on
yeah,
the next episode, and she did a lot of stuff that really surprised me. She's clearly been
yeah,
training, but in this, I didn't see a lot of that. But she's better than I remember her being from
yeah,
NXT. But she's
because they
still
even
like,
said her last match was in like November of last year.
yeah, and I don't know.
It's
It
building
was
up to we know what was going to happen. So at the next event, against all odds, it's going to be Santino versus Robert Stone, and whoever wins becomes Director of Authority on TNA.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad match, but it wasn't good. I don't like the storyline with Santino. I think this is
Yeah,
really silly what's happening.
yeah. As much as I
Uh,
love Santino,
I mean, I love him. She's
yeah,
hot. Tessa Blanchard shouldn't. I mean, Tessa Blanchard needs to keep winning, or they're gonna, you know,
lose, yeah,
yeah.
momentum. But yeah, Tessa Blanchard does win. So this sets up, like you said, a match for the next episode of Impact, which was Tessa, and it wasn't even Tessa, it was Robert Stone and Victoria Crawford against
Yeah, which was
Weird.
strange.
And Robert Stone ends up winning with Shenanigan in that match. So it sets up like I don't know what they're doing with Robert Stone. I don't like the Robert Stone character. It is what it
He's
is.
the director. What is he? The deputy of authority for NXT,
He's the sheriff.
even though he doesn't actually work for NXT.
Stone, yeah, he does.
He does now. Okay, so like
Oh,
I'm
so Robert
so.
Stone's been working for, but
But
he
isn't
feels
Robert
like he
Stone also with the guy that's fighting fucking? Who's the guy that's with the guy that's fighting PCO? And why am I confusing them?
no, you're thinking Jimmy Jacobs.
Jimmy Jacobs. They looked us. They're the same guy.
Yes.
Anyways, continue.
But Masha Slamovich defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against Victoria Crawford. Victoria was not good in this
This
match.
was such a waste of time. Like, just what a fucking mess.
Alicia
How
Fox was never a good wrestler.
how do
I'm going to
you
say that
have
right now.
why is she getting a title shot? Number one. Number two,
Hmm.
this was a squash match. It lasted what, 6 minutes?
6 minutes.
And it came directly during the last match, the same way they did with the other match with the
Hmm.
I was gonna say the Sasquatch. What the hell were they called?
Which one?
Um, the Moose group.
Oh, the system, the
The way that the
Sasquatch.
system and the Canadian Armory, whatever they're
Yeah.
called, came in and like this is how this match started. Masha just walked right into the last match, and then
Yeah.
they're like, "All right, let's go." And I was like, "Why are we doing this?"
Yeah, especially on on a live like a PLE, whatever you want to call it, right? Like I don't know.
It didn't feel like a PLE. It came off like it was just a
Just an
regular
episode,
episode of
yeah,
Dynamite.
of Impact, yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
Different
TNA
show.
Explosion. That's why
Yeah.
I got confused. That was the other show, right? Was Explosion?
Explosion, yeah. But
Uh,
Masha, like you said, squashes Victoria in this
yeah.
match. Like,
What are we doing here? What are we doing
why are
here?
we wasting Masha?
It's the same exact thing that's gonna happen when we do our NXT review with Obafemi. Like, why is he
Yeah.
wrestling that guy? Why is that guy
Yeah.
in the? I don't even know his name. Why was he in?
It's the baby of Randy Orton and Kyle Fletcher.
It's literally Kyle Fletcher light.
Yeah.
It's Kyle Fletcher if he was American and not good.
Yeah.
But he got it. Like that's like how this felt. Like you just pick
Yeah.
some random girl and you're like, you get a title shot. I'd rather have watched Maddie Rankowski fight Obafemi.
That would have been better. Charlie Dempsey, he doesn't even fight
Yeah, what the
anymore.
fuck? Anyways, listen, wrong
Moving
show.
on. We'll talk about that when we get to it. So with that, our co-main event of the night, the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth, defending the TNA World Tag Team Championships against Matt Hardy and Leon Slater, only because Jeff Hardy is not allowed in Canada.
The definition of an okay match. 2.5 stars out of 5.
Yeah.
It's literally
Not
like right down the
offensive.
middle. I watched the
I
match.
put Leon Slater was the highlight of this match. He was the best thing about
By
it.
far, not even close.
Yeah.
Did I say fart? By far.
By far. Hard fart
By
victory,
far.
as Kane once said. Kane actually congratulated Daniel Bryan once on a hard fart victory.
Well, I mean, he seems like the type of guy that farts a lot.
Yeah. Nemeth brothers retain. We knew that was going to happen. They weren't going to do it on a random. It was an okay match. Not much needs to be
Yeah,
said about it.
it was okay.
So with that, Joe Hendry and Elijah against Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian.
This is poo. This is like I literally got to this match and I was like, why is this the main event?
I even put meh on this thing.
This is like something you put in the middle of a pay-per-view. There's
Yeah.
no star power. Okay, you can say whatever you want about Joe Hendry, but at this point, there's no star power. For
No.
WWE people, he's new and he's still fresh. For us, I'm tired of Joe Hendry already. Okay.
Yeah. I don't believe anymore.
It's who cares about Elijah? I don't
Yeah.
care about that whole storyline they're trying to do because what they're doing is Joe Hendry's out the door. So
Yeah,
they're
he
trying to
already
build
is.
up they're trying to build up Elijah to be the next big
Replacement.
face of the company.
Yeah.
And like okay, great.
Kaz already went through. He already cashed in his right in
Yeah.
that three-way with Ethan Page at Rebellion.
And Kaz is at a point now where all he's going to do is give you serviceable matches, which is fine. And then I don't want to watch anything Trick Williams does. So
No.
we're already at a weird spot where you did a setup match on your pay-per-view for another company's main event.
Yep, which is tomorrow night. We'll review on NXT Battleground.
That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, it
You
absolutely
did the
was.
setup match for another company's main event to put them over. Like, get out of here. Goodbye.
But we did get a spinner Rooney.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Yeah. Well, the spinner Rooney was, yeah. And then he does it again. But
But
we'll
like
talk about
yelling aside, this wasn't a good match.
Yeah, this was not. And I even put, like, if Joe Hendry wins this match, he'll lose against Trick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, all in all, there were some decent matches. Nothing. This is a really middle of the road pay-per-view for me.
Yeah, it was. I think you got a lot of fine stuff. I think the women's match was the peak, the tag match.
It
and
peaked
then
there, and then it just went downhill
and
after
then
that.
there was a couple other like mildly nice moments.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 6.8.
Hmm.
And I like we talked about this recently that we're starting to change our scoring system to be
Mhm.
more like drop down to like realism rather than just
Yeah.
having everything hit a point.
Yeah.
6.8. Is it a good pay-per-view? It's fine.
No,
Is it
it's
watchable?
fine.
It's absolutely watchable. But
Yeah.
being in the sixes, I wouldn't recommend. You don't need to see this
Yeah.
ever.
I'm right there with you. I gave this a 6.6.
Yeah, if you watch this, you won't be upset that you watched it, but there's no reason to ever
Yeah.
watch
If
this
you're
pay-per-view.
bored and you just want to watch some wrestling and it's on, go ahead,
This
watch
is
it.
this is where my sixes exist now in a world of if you watch it, you won't be upset, but it's not worth your time to watch this.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to see this. You just skip this pay-per-view. It's irrelevant.
Yeah. I agree. So with that out of the way, guys, thanks again for joining us. Tune in tomorrow. Tomorrow, Campo and I will have our review of NXT Battleground, the main event of Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry for the TNA Championship on an NXT show. So tune in tomorrow for that, and then later in the week we are going to have a our AEW Double or Nothing review, which surprisingly this year did not have a casino battle royal like they usually do.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. So tune in Wednesday to hear our thoughts on that. And I just want to thank everyone for the support they've shown over the last few days. The short that I've posted, you guys made this thing hit 12,000 views. I've never seen numbers like that. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you on that. So keep watching for more wrestling content. And with that out of the way, and in the words of Kenny Omega, goodbye and good night.